Hey, this is part two of the philosophy thing. I just want to say right away that when I say atheistic theory of evolution, I do not mean that every theory of evolution is necessarily atheistic. I had a comment that was in reference to that on the previous video. I realized that there are Christian evolutionists. Um, I realized that there is microevolution, adaptation, and I think that's a testimony to God's creative ability. That He not only makes a species uh, as complicated as we are on a cellular or even atomic level, but that species is able to adapt to changes in the environment. That's a really neat thing. What I don't believe is that man adapted from, I guess, all the way back to a single cell organism that uh, appeared from nothing, that just became alive. Like a single cell organism just became alive from where there was no life. That's hard for me to believe, and where I have to draw the line. Uh, the To continue on with the other video, the only other answer widely propounded to the question of where humans come from is creation. The other was the theory of evolution, and particularly the atheistic theory of evolution, which is the one where there is no God. And those are the two widely accepted answers. I don't even think the Christian evolutionist is a very widely accepted answer. It's the reason I am only discussing these two. Creation is the idea that something made all that we perceive to be. I would like to say right away that this something must be a someone, because this being would have to be conscious to decide to create. If the something really were an unconscious force pre-existing the reality we behold, which is space and time, then it was without all this, space and time, at some point, and something caused that something to change. Then we find ourselves back at square one, asking what was there alongside or before this something that caused the change. This line of reasoning makes me wonder if space and time even exist apart from consciousness. I'm just about sure they do not. But how could anyone prove it? First, you would have to get everyone non-existent. A challenge, I think. Then, who would monitor the results? So at some point, after going in circles for a while, we come to the conclusion that there must have been a someone at the beginning, meaning that they were conscious, not meaning that they were like me. I exist at a definite point in time. I do not make it. I move through space. I do not make it. I am matter, and I can affect change in matter, but I do not make it. This someone who makes space and time must be powerfully supernatural, beyond the capacity of my understanding. This someone, if they have the power to make time, to cause things which are non-existent to come into existence, to impart life and consciousness to its creations, must be what people submissively call God. If this is true, and there is an all-knowing, ever-present, supernatural being that exists in and out of time, how do we have knowledge of this being? How would we get this knowledge if this God did not reveal it to us? Which God of all the gods worshipped on the earth is the God that has this infinite power? The questions in our minds really ask another question. I mean, why do humans even have a concept of infinite or eternal? When I tried to take calculus one time, and I realized that mathematics does point to infinity. And I was blown away at that point. with the whole concept. You know, our minds, it's weird that we have a concept of infinite and eternal, but we can't really describe it or illustrate it in any way. I think all the questions that we come down to are really supposed to make us realize that we don't know a whole lot.